The Oculus Rift S is my first VR headset, and I finally have just about, or pretty much close to, around 500 hours in the VR. And you would think, having 500 hours in my VR headset, I would love every second of it if I'm spending that much time in it. And while yes, I do indeed love VR, I do not indeed love this headset in the slightest. Let's get some positives out of the way. So the Rift S is a self-contained headset using full inside-out tracking, which I totally think can be the future of VR. I've not had any tracking issues, and I feel like even tracking behind your back is exceptionally well that unless you're looking for it, you will never notice it. My problem with the headset is for VR enthusiasts such as myself. If you personally plan to buy a headset and you want to spend like hours upon hours upon hours in VR like I personally do, you're better off with a different headset. I'm currently on my second Rift S, and I haven't had it for like even 2 years now. It's been like 1 year in total, split between the two. And the reasons is because Oculus really had some kind of trouble designing this headset. Originally, with my first Rift S, I thought it was just a me problem. And then I saw videos from YouTubers such as Thrillseeker and a bunch of other people who had the exact same issues. And sure, there are some YouTubers who have found fixes for it. These fixes generally only last around a couple hours or so, which if you want to pull an all-nighter in VR chat or spend 3 hours in Beat Saber or an unreasonable amount of time in a Half-Life Alyx Horde mode mod, you're out of luck. Maybe I got a bad Rift S. You know, there's duds out there. But the fact that this is my second headset and I'm having the same problems I've always been having is pretty bad. And maybe I got unlucky twice, but I can assure you that I've not got unlucky twice. Every time I join a lobby of Pavlov, I always hear somebody's microphone sound all robotic. Instantly, I know exactly what headset they're using, because only the Rift S has the microphone quality so bad that for no reason at all it'll just turn into a robot that no one will be able to understand a word you're saying. And it's not and there is a headphone jack on the headset, but it's not as clear, cut and dry as just plug your headphones in, use your own microphone. You cannot use the headphone jack for your own microphone, only your own audio, which you're going to need to use your own audio with the horrendous audio that comes with the Rift S. So sure, I guess technically you could fix these by using a different microphone, even if it means Bluetooth mics, which aren't always the best, or getting a giant extension cable to have another cable now for your headphones and your Rift S, because the headphone jack doesn't have a mic import for seemingly no reason. Understandable, that's not a reason to not buy the headset, but if you spend too long in the headset at one time, a whole different kind of issues just arrive. I spend hours and countless hours in VR at a single session, and when I play, I always have this issue where my headset will just static, black screen, and I'll have to restart everything, and then I'll be back into the game. That is ridiculous. The fact that I'm on my second headset, not the only person who has these issues, I know countless people. Every time I play Pavlov, I'm always hearing how people have problems with their Rift S. Hearing all of this is just bullcrap. If you get a VR headset and you plan to just play some games normally, you know, sometimes, not often, just sort of have it, the Rift S is a great choice. But I can't really recommend it, because if you use it for too long, it's not a matter of if it'll have these problems, it's more of a matter of when. And don't bother trying to tell me any fixes, because if there ever was a fix, I would definitely have done it by now. I'm on my third USB 3 hub, all of them using different types of methods, all of them wound up with the same results. I've tried lowering the audio, I've even found a way to reverse update the firmware for the Rift S. There is no fixing it. And it just gets worse and worse as you spend more time in VR, which is just unacceptable. I can't truly play like the Rift S as much as I'd like to, because it went from it doing it every couple of hours to now like every 3 minutes, and I can hardly even play VR anymore. I get to play like 2 songs in Beat Saber before crashing, making it so I don't even want to go on to VR chat or even play Pavlov, knowing that I'll be playing with people for like 40 seconds and then being booted back, straight back to reality because the headset will just turn off. If you are to buy a VR headset, do not buy the Rift S, depending on your use case. If you plan to spend countless hours in VR and you're debating between the Rift S and the Quest, Oculus Link is better than a headset that crashes. If you plan to only play sometimes, even then, you might want to you might get hooked on VR and want to spend more time in it. You won't be able to do that if you get the Rift S. So just make the right call, and I can't recommend the Rift S to really anyone. It is almost the perfect headset, but it has some glaring issues that are the dumbest possible issues to have on a headset. And I don't even have trouble with things that other people do, like IPD. I love the IPD on the Rift S because the sweet spot is gigantic, so I don't have to fiddle with it at all. It's just put it on the next person and they can see perfectly. I mean, if your IPD doesn't fit it, then it makes sense not to get it. But if you plan to spend countless hours in VR, an original Rift with 3 sensors is gotta be the way to go, assuming you're on a budget. Now, of course, there's always the Index and the Vive, which I can't speak because I don't have personal experience with either of those headsets. But I do have personal experience with the Rift S and the original Rift, and I can tell you, and the Quest, and I can tell you that if you are going to buy a headset and that you plan to spend like your whole time in, all the time, every day, I want to recommend the Rift S. I really do, because when it does work, it is so simple to set up. It is just super, it's just really good. The visuals are great, better than the Rift's. Text is easier to read, and I'm sure the audio and stuff is bad, but there are external solutions to that. But there is no external solution to the headset consistently crashing. It's not just a one-time issue either. I know so many people who have this issue with the Rift S. Not to mention the robotic microphone. That is gotta be how did they even let that go by? If only Oculus would have spent more time developing their PC headset instead of rushing it with Lenovo, it could have really been the perfect go-to VR headset, because its simplicity, inside-out tracking, setting up the Guardian takes 2 seconds. It almost Oculus. So please, if you want to spend for a lot of time in VR, you're an enthusiast, the Rift S is not the way to go. Even Oculus Link would be better, because at least, sure, it doesn't feel right. It has a little bit of weirdness to it as compared to a PC VR headset, but at least it doesn't crash, and it won't. It probably won't. I can't say that the Quest won't have crashing issues like this, but it seems to be a USB power issue, so even if the Quest were to not work on your PC, you at least have a headset, totally self-contained, that works. Unlike the Rift S, where if it stops working, which it will if you spend a lot of time in it, you're just kind of screwed. Long story short, don't buy the Rift S if you want to spend a lot of time in VR. Or Oculus, please fix this.